Hello class, and today we're going to be talking about measurement again, and then talk a little bit about estimation, and start learning how to choose the best measurement tool based on estimations. So we've already discussed the different objects that we have, the different tools that we have to measure objects, and we've practiced with these in class. Let's see if you can remember those. Today we're going to talk about choosing the best tool and using what we know to estimate. But first, there are a few things we have to remember. About other. So our ruler is very important. We use it a lot. And the most important things for us to remember about our ruler is that it is 1 foot or 12 inches long. There are 12 inches in every foot, and a ruler is 1 foot long. If you look on the reverse side of a ruler, if you're not looking on the inches side, there is a centimeters side that has 30 centimeters, and I'll show that to you very quickly. So here we have our inches side, and here we have our centimeters side, so inches, centimeters. And another important thing to remember when we're measuring is to always line it up with the 0 line. It's not always going to be that the end of the ruler is the end or the 12 inches. Instead, sometimes you just have to line it up with the line, and that makes it a lot more accurate. The next two measurement tools we'll be talking about is your yardstick and your meter stick. You should remember that your meter stick is slightly larger / longer than your yardstick. It is about 3.28 feet. But with meter sticks, we normally measure it in centimeters, and the only reason I even tell you this measurement is to give you a comparison to your yardstick. A meter stick is 100 centimeters long. So when you're measuring with your meter stick, your unit is going to be centimeters. Here's a quick picture, really quick, of a meter stick. You can see that it is in centimeters as opposed to inches like our yardstick will be. Now, our yardstick is about 3 rulers stacked end to end, which would mean that it is about 3 feet or 36 inches. Since each ruler is a foot, and it takes 3 rulers to make 1 yardstick, each yardstick is 3 feet long. You can see here that the units we use for our yardstick is in inches, and we end here at 36. So, I can put this down here out of our way now, and we'll have to remember that the unit is inches. The last tool that we're going to use is our tape measure. And these tape measures come in different lengths. This one just so happens to be 25 feet, and we're going to use these tape measures anytime we have something that is over 3 feet, because that's the longest that our yardstick and our meter stick will go. So in order to make estimates, it's important that we have some benchmark items. These benchmark items will be units that we know the length of. So let's first start with items that we can know are going to be about a foot long. The first item I have here for you is the long side, this side, of a piece of notebook paper. Now that is technically 11 inches, but that's only one inch short of 12 inches, which is a foot. So we can use this notebook paper as a benchmark for 1 foot. If something is about the size of the long end of a piece of notebook paper, it is about 1 foot. Another visual for you is a 2-liter bottle of soda. Again, how tall it is almost a foot. So if something is about as tall as a 2-liter bottle of soda, it's about a foot tall or long. And lastly, I have here for you one of those Subway foot-long sandwiches. So these are obviously almost about a foot long, as their name says. And so if something is about that long, we know that it's about 1 foot. At this time, it would probably be good to fill out your guided practice where it says items that are about 1 foot. You can pick an item and draw that onto your guided practice worksheet. Next we have items that are about 1 inch. And these Jolly Rancher candies are about 1 inch long. Another cool way we can tell if something is about 1 inch is by looking at our thumbs. And in the picture here, they label it for you. But from the tip of your finger to your knuckle is about 1 inch. So that's cool because we always carry that with us. So you should have that resource on hand. And lastly, we have a paper clip. A paper clip is also about 1 inch long. So any of these items, if anything that you're trying to measure is about the same size as these, then you know you have about 1 inch. Pick one of these items to draw for something that is about 1 inch on your guided practice worksheet. So next we want to look at items that are about 1 yard or about 3 feet. And these items are going to be about 3 rulers put together end to end. So one of these is a guitar. A guitar is about 1 yard long. Another example is a baseball bat. And so either of these are going to be about 1 yard long. So make sure that you fill something out on your guided practice worksheet for something that is about 1 yard. The last 2 examples that I have to show you are items that are about 1 centimeter and items that are about 1 meter. So for about 1 centimeter we have these pencils or pens, and it's not the length. We don't want to look at it from this long ways. That is longer than 1 centimeter. However, we do want to look at it from this side. So the width of one pen or one pencil is about 1 centimeter. So if you set your eraser down, how wide your eraser is what is about 1 centimeter. And for about 1 meter we have the width of a door. So if you're standing inside the doorway and you spread your arms out from one end of the doorway to the other end of the doorway, the length in between the doorway is about 1 meter. You'll want to add the doorway to your guided practice worksheet. All these examples of benchmark objects are going to help us when we need to begin estimating to make a rough calculation or an educated guess about how long an item is, because we can compare objects that we want to know the length of to objects that we already know the length of. For example, if we have a picture frame that is about the length of a baseball bat, we will know, because we know that a baseball bat is about 1 yard, our picture frame is about 1 yard, and that we probably want to get a yardstick or a meter stick to measure that picture frame. Here's a short video to remind you of these things.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it. We know we can always put 12 inches inside a foot, and 1 yard just won't be complete if it does not contain 3 feet.
1 inch is what you got if you're looking at the top of a bottle of pop. On your thumb is about 1 inch from your knuckle to your fingertip.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
The length of the folder where your work is put measures out to just 1 foot.
You'll find a foot if you look at the height of the parrot on my hook.
Yar. A football field has 100 marks. Each one is a yard apart.
At the plate with a softball bat, a yard is about what you're looking at.
Open your fingers a pinch and make an inch. Then make your hands look just like a foot. Put them 3 times as far and make a yard. Now we know how long they are.
We are the women and men of
Estimation also comes in handy in the real world. So imagine that you're out fishing and you catch a big fish, but you didn't bring your tape measure. We could look at your fish and say, well, maybe that fish is about the length of a piece of notebook paper. And so you would be able to estimate that your fish was about a foot long based on the fact that you know that a piece of notebook paper is about a foot long. When we choose the best tool, we want to look at how long we think an item is and compare it to our benchmark items. So, if we have an item that we estimate is 1 foot or less, which tool do you think we should use? We should use a ruler. This will tell us anything that's 12 inches or smaller as well as 30 centimeters or smaller. If we have an object that we believe is between 1 and 3 feet, we are going to use a yardstick or a meter stick. Remember that our meter stick is going to be in centimeters or meters, and our yardstick is going to be in inches or feet. Lastly, if we have an object that is more than 3 feet, we are going to use our tape measurer. And now we are done. I want you to take your new knowledge to measure an item at home. So you're going to either use the ruler or the tape measure that you've been given and measure an item at home. You're going to estimate its length first so that you can decide which tool to use. And make sure you fill that out on your guided practice worksheet. And remember to write down any questions or comments you have and bring those sheets back to class so that we can clear up any questions you may have. I will see you next class for more practice estimating and picking the right tools.